Welcome to connecting fractions, decimals, and percents with a calculator. The easiest way to see this relationship is with a chart, so let's get started. Going from percents to decimals is almost fun because all you do in this case is divide by 100. So to go to a decimal, it's just 72 divided by 100, which equals 0.72. The 3% looks a little bit different, but the fact of the matter is that the rules stay the same. It's just 3 divided by 100, which gives you decimal 0.03. Now this one, the 357.89%, looks quite a bit different, but this is the beauty of mathematics. The rules are the rules are the rules. They do not change. There are no exceptions. As I said before, it's always divide by 100. So 357.89 divided by 100 is 3.5789. And although this 0.7 looks quite a bit different, we still do it exactly the same way. It's 0.27 divided by 100, which equals 0.0027. Very small, but remember percentages are actually quite small, and this is a little bit of a percentage. Going from a decimal to a fraction does require some memorization, so it's not as fun. My problem with memorization is every time I learn something new, it pushes something old out. So unfortunately, I don't know my mother's favorite color anymore. Sorry, Mom, but at least I can do this conversion. So 2 decimals will be 100 in the bottom or the denominator. So for instance, the number 0.72 has 2 decimals, so it will be 72 over 100. I'm going to put a star beside that because we're going to have to come back to that. Similarly, decimal 0.03 has 2 decimals, and so the rules are the rules are the rules. So it would be 0.03 over 100, or we could just write that down as 3 over 100. 3 decimals would be 1,000 in the bottom or the denominator. 4 decimals would be 10,000 in the denominator. So for example, 3.5789 has 4 decimal places. So that would end up being 3.5789 over 10,000. Because we're only concerned with the decimal part. Although the 0.0027 looks quite a bit different, the fact of the matter is there's 4 decimal places, and the rules are the rules are the rules. They do not change. So it's 0.0027 over 10,000, or just 27 over 10,000. So 1 decimal will be 10 in the denominator. So for example, if you had 0.9, it would just end up being 9 over 10. 5 decimals will be 100,000 in the denominator. So by now, you've probably seen the pattern. However many decimals there are, that's many zeros have to be in the denominator, or the bottom. So decimal 0.78773 ends up being 78,773 over 100,000. So we can just fill in our fractions. It's 72 over 100. 3 over 100, 3 wholes, 5,789 over 10,000, and 27 over 10,000. But remember, I did put a star beside this one. There's a reason for that. We need to check and be sure that all our fractions are in lowest terms. So the 27 over 10,000, yeah, that's in lowest terms, it's good. This is in lowest terms, this is in lowest terms. This one is not. Is there a number that goes nicely into 72 and into 100? Yes, the number is 2. So you divide the top by 2, which is 36, and the bottom by 2, which is 50. Is there a number that goes nicely into 36 and into 50? Yes, The number's 2 again. So that gives us 18 over 25. And that is the fraction that we're going to write over here, because that is in lowest terms. So going from a decimal to a fraction is all about choosing the denominator. Now we're going to talk about going from decimal to percent. And remember, when you went from percent to decimal, you divided by 100. So when you go from decimal to percent, you're going to times 100. So 0.87 times 100 is 87%. And although 2.37 looks different, the rules do not change. It's still 2.37 times 100. 2.37 times 100 is 237%. Although greater than 100%, that does happen on occasion. And finally, 9.31 times 100 is 931%. So remember, going from decimals to fractions was all about choosing the denominator. So decimal 87 has 2 decimal places, so it's over 100. So it's 87 over 100. And remember, I'm only concerned with how many decimal places there are. So there's 2 wholes, and there's 2 decimal places, so it has to be over a denominator of 100. So it's 37 over 100. And finally, 9.31, you have 2 decimal places, so it's 9 over 31 over 100. So going from a fraction to a decimal is a division. So 1 divided by 4 is equal to 0.25. That's really all fractions are. They're just a division question. So 11 divided by 6, although it looks different, it's done exactly the same way, is 1.83333333 forever. Do not make the mistake of rounding too early. I usually work to 4 decimal places until I get to my final answer. Then I might round. 4 2/3, you could change it to an improper, but just realize that we're only concerned with the fraction part. So the 4 is already there, decimal, and then we have to deal with the fraction. And the fraction is 2 divided by 3, which is equal to 0.666666666 forever, but I'm going to call it 0.6667. As I said, I worked to 4 decimal places until I get to the end. So 4 2/3 written as a decimal is 4 wholes plus a little bit, which is 0.6667. And we know how to go from decimal to percent. It's just times 100. So 0.25 times 100 is 25%. 1.8333 times 100 and 4.6667 is 466.67%. Now our chart is filled in. Hopefully this helps.